Hey guys, welcome back to the Crafty Couple. If you watched our last video, you will know that we left it up to you guys to decide which style we did next between modern, farmhouse, and boho. Boho is the obvious winner, so today we've got 3 boho projects for you. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments which one's your favorite.
For this first project, we are going to start with one of these Dollar Tree buckets, some of this decorative nautical rope, and then also this newer white nautical rope. I unraveled all of the pieces so that it wasn't so bulky and so that this whole entire rope would last a lot longer. I started at this little lip on the bottom, and I will be hot gluing this rope all the way around. When you go around the bucket again, you don't need to hot glue it except for right in the back. If you do hot glue it all the way around, it will look a little bit more messy. This is how far I got with one strand of rope. Just remember to keep all of the beginnings and ends in the back. This is about how far I went up. I would say it's about 1/4 of the way up. And then to get it to look just a little bit cleaner, I took a lighter to burn all the little ends. And you will not need to do this with the lighter nautical rope, it's just this twine one. Now we are going to do the same thing that we did before, unravel all of this lighter nautical rope and start it where you ended the other nautical rope, and then just wrap it around like we did before and only hot glue it in the back. This is how far one strand got me, so as you can see it will last quite a bit longer. And this is what it looked like finished. This is the back where you can see all the start and the stops. Now we are going to put one on the very top, and this one will go along the top and then it'll wrap around the handles. So this is what I was talking about before. You would just grab all of this rope and just wrap it all the way around. When that is wrapped all the way around, just continue on with the very top. This is how the back of mine looked. I just kind of overlapped it so it was a lot more hidden. The white was just a little too bright to me, so you can grab like one of those burlap bags or something from Dollar Tree to cover it, but I'm using Truffle and white Waverly chalk paint. I'm mixing it together to make kind of a tan color to paint the whole inside. If you are going to do this, I would recommend doing it before with a spray paint or the paint. This is where you could have stopped. I went a little extra because I don't know when to stop. So I grabbed more nautical rope, unwound all of it, and then braided it. And then I'm going to be going on the inside, and then you can do 2 rows with this. When you're done with that second rope, just cut it where the first one started and tuck it kind of underneath. This part is also totally optional, but I took another rope, undid everything, and I will be tying a knot on one end, braiding it, and then tying another knot on the other end. With the ends, I will be brushing them out, and using like a dog or a cat brush works really well. And then you will just want to cut them both even. With that complete, I will be wrapping it around the back and kind of overlapping it in the front. You will want to hot glue the back and secure it, and then on the 2 sides, and then of course in the front. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you have gone as extra as I did, or would you have stopped a few steps before?
Okay, so moving on to this vase. This was a lot of fun to work on. However, if you've never worked with these little sticker beads, they can kind of be difficult to, I guess, form how you want it, but the more you do it, you kind of get used to working with it. So the first thing that you want to do is start at the very top with one of these strands, and then I worked just diagonally across it and down to the bottom. So we don't want to go straight down, we want to work across the vase and then down to the bottom. As you get to the bottom, you can go ahead and cut off the excess of the beads that you have there. Now, the easiest way that I found to do this was to split your vase into quarters. So wherever you started your first strand, I went directly across from that and I started my second strand of beads, and just trying to keep kind of the same line and diagonal movement that I did on the first strand of beads. And then again, as you get to the bottom, you can cut that off. Okay, now that we have two of these strands down, we can simply put the next two in between these. Again, we're trying to section it off into quarters. So place it at the top of the vase in between the two strands, and then you'll want to run that down diagonally. Once we have the four going in the same direction, we want to repeat this process, sectioning it off into quarters, but what we want to do is go the opposite way now, diagonally down to the bottom of the vase. So pick two strands of beads here, like you can see, and then we'll want to place this one in between those at the top. And then as you come down, you will intersect the original strand. So go ahead and cut those off, and then we can continue on the other side of that. Now, if you end up cutting, say, like 1, 2, or 3 pieces of the bead strand, what we want to do is save that for later. So go ahead and place it on the mat that they come on originally, because once we get to the end of this vase, we will need some of those smaller strands to complete this, and I'll show you that a little bit later. And while you're placing the beads on here, I would suggest to just lightly lay them down on the vase to get an idea of the direction or the line that you need to go. And then once you figure out how many beads you need in between these strands before you cut it, just gently lay it down on the vase. That way you don't have to worry about trying to pull it up off. They do stick really well, so if you press it down hard, if you try to pull it off, it can rip the beads off of that glue that it comes with. So just gently lay it down, get an idea of where you need to put it, and then once you've cut it and you know exactly where it needs to go, then you can press it down for a firmer hold. Okay, so once we have all of those strands from the top running to the bottom, the next part we want to do is go in between all of these gaps, and we're going to create like a diamond shape. We're going to just follow the lines that we've created with another inner line. Hopefully this is all making sense. I think with me kind of explaining it and visually being able to see it, you'll understand what I'm saying here. So once we've gone through and put these diamonds in those gaps, you can see it looks like now instead of having one strand come from the top to the bottom, it looks like we ran 3. So those 8 original strands now kind of look like 3, and that's the effect that those diamonds will give. So if that doesn't make sense, please let me know in the comments so I can try and help answer any questions. And to finish it up, we're going to use this Krylon spray paint in gloss white. If you guys have a brand of spray paint that you really like to use, let us know in the comments. I'd love to know what paint you find the best. And to finish it up, we're going to use some eucalyptus. Now I wanted to give you a couple options that you guys could go with. These two smaller picks are from Walmart and they were, I believe, about $1.50. This bigger one I think would look good as well, about $3 or $3.50. And the other option that looks really good is the Fern from Walmart, and that I believe is also $1.50.
For this last project, all you will need is a Dollar Tree hula hoop and Dollar Tree yarn. The first thing you will need to do is take off this outer casing that's on the hula hoops. I found the easiest way is to kind of make a slit all the way around and then try and rip it off. And this is what it looks like after you do that. You will pull it apart and get all of the little beads that are inside as well. And then I just hot glued it shut so it wouldn't come undone. You can definitely leave it this color. I wanted to spray paint it gold, but I haven't found a really good gold spray paint that doesn't stick after a few days of leaving it to dry. If you guys have any recommendations, I would love to hear in the comments. But I used the Rustoleum chalk paint. And then we will be taking this yarn and go ahead and just measure how long you want it and then cut it. And then you will be left with all these loops on this end. And then go ahead and wrap it over the top and tie it. And now you can just keep doing the same thing for about a third of the way down on both sides. I wouldn't worry too much about how long your string is because you can just cut it into whatever shape you want at the end. So this is how far I went on both sides. Like I said, it's about a third of the way, and you would just take scissors and I cut out a V shape. And it is easiest to cut it when it is hanging.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to go through to our boho playlist. We'll have a link right here for you. I know you'll love those just as much. And as always, guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time we upload a new video.